So you're thinking of moving to Florida, or you might be thinking about moving in general and just aren't sure where to go. All you see online and on YouTube is news of the market crashing, thumbnails with hellfire, and that the world is falling apart. Many of you may be thinking, but I really have to move due to a job transfer or a major life event like separation or divorce, or maybe you're growing your family and need some more space and you currently live in a costly studio apartment in New York or California. Or maybe you want to slow down and retire. The list goes on and on and on. Many of the folks that call me to buy a home here simply just want to leave their state and move to Florida. Why? Because they're looking for a change and it puts them in a better position. If this is your first time on the channel and you want to know what it's like living in South Florida, then consider subscribing below and tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know when I put new content about living here. Go ahead and hit the like button too if you find this video helpful. My name is Jonathan. My team and I, we get calls, emails, and messages on social media from people just like you that are looking to make the move down here to South Florida. We love being able to help, so whether you're looking to make a move next week, next month, or next year, we got you covered. Go ahead and give us a call or send us a text to the number on the screen or shoot us an email and we'll help you make a smooth transition down here to the Sunshine State. So if you're in the situation where you really need to make a move or you know it's time to make the move to Florida, I'm gonna go over all of the good things about moving here and why I love living in Florida, why it doesn't suck, and how it benefits so many people that are coming from other states. FYI, please know that I'm keeping this video upbeat and positive. I'm not going to discuss politics in my videos or on this channel, so you won't find that type of information here, but I do hope you find valuable information outside of that to help you decide if Florida is the right fit for you. I have another video where I talk about all of the negatives of living here because like anywhere, there are not so great things too. Okay, so what are the awesome things about living here in Florida? I'm so glad you asked. Let's go ahead and jump in. Number one, the climate. So I'm gonna start this list off with the obvious, which is our climate. Florida's tropical vibe and warm weather attracts so many to the Sunshine State, which also offers plenty of health benefits too. People can't get enough of it, especially those that are sick of the hassle involved with shoveling snow and wearing layers upon layers of clothing. As a parent, it already takes forever to get the kids out of the house in the morning. I don't even want to imagine the stress involved with layering them in coats and boots and mittens, heating up the car, shoveling the snow. I mean, I can feel the stress just talking about it. The good news is you don't have to worry about that here in Florida. There have been flurries reported in the Panhandle, but if you're considering South Florida, it hasn't snowed here since 1977. Obviously, the climate here is very warm. It's not uncommon to experience temperatures in some parts of Florida in the 80s during the winter, but most of the state averages anywhere from 64 to 77 degrees during the winter months, and you can wear flip-flops all year round and even enjoy swimming in the beach or pool during this time of year. Really, we're considered the hottest state in terms of year-round temperatures, so it's going to be extremely hot in the summer months, which draws large crowds of beachgoers that want to work on their tan, partake in water sports, play beach volleyball. The weather here definitely makes it easier to participate in outdoor activities and events, which we will get into this later in the video. So what are some health benefits related to living here? According to Stanford University, the health benefits of living in a warm climate well supersede cold environments for multiple reasons and prevents illness and death due to the chilly weather. Another factor is having more access to vitamin D from natural sunlight, which protects your immune system, improves your mood, helps calcium absorption, and so on. The warm temperature experienced in Florida also helps alleviate joint problems such as arthritis, which is good news to those that plan to retire here. Oh, and seasonal depression is a real thing. Mental health specialists say that living in warmer climates can help beat those winter blues, ease anxiety symptoms, and improve overall happiness. I'm sure you're well aware of the mental health crisis over the years, and due to the pandemic from people being cooped up inside for too long, for most people, the blue sky, sunshine, and being able to spend time in nature or at the beach helps really boost the mood. So that brings me to the next one, which is also obvious, our beautiful beaches. Number two, the beaches. There's no surprise that Florida has some of the best beaches in the country. I won't spend too much time on this topic, but it's worth bragging about as someone that has visited so many of them. From the white sandy beaches of the West Coast and Siesta Key, Marco Island, Clearwater, to vibrant beaches on the East Coast like South Beach, Fort Lauderdale, Delray Beach, Daytona Beach, and even the Florida Keys. Sorry if I missed any, you just can't argue that there's literally a beach here for all walks of life, even dog beaches. With that being said, we have over 825 miles of sandy coastline here in Florida and a whopping 189 official beaches in total. One thing I personally love about living here is that no matter where I'm located, I'm never more than 60 miles away from the water. If buying a home directly or near the coast isn't an option for you, don't worry, it's not too far of a drive. In fact, Floridians tend to vacation in their own state, and it's not uncommon for people from South Florida to take trips to beach towns on the West Coast like Marco Island or vice versa. These are mini trips that we like to call staycations and are perfect for long weekends. And like I said, we have our pick when it comes to which beaches to visit. Even if you don't go swimming or like to lay out roasting at the beach all the time, there's something about knowing it's there that's valued here. And on top of that, you can take advantage of the restaurants and venues near or on the water. One thing I like to do to switch up the monotony of the day is to take scenic routes near the water when driving home from work or whenever there's time. You can't do that in many central places of the country like Nebraska, so I'm so grateful to have the freedom to do so here. Let's talk about lesser known positives of living close to the ocean. According to psychologists, there's mental benefits that come from the beach. Scientifically speaking, waves from the ocean generate negative ions in the air, which is said to help increase mental energy. Not to mention, just staring at that blue water and listening to the sounds of waves can have such a peaceful effect on you and even improve the quality of your sleep. That's why it's so common for people to search for ocean waves here on YouTube to play as white noise in their homes. Other notable positives that come from living near the beach include access to fresh caught seafood, enhanced creativity, again, tons of water sports that promote physical fitness and overall increased happiness. There's a reason why so many people travel here on vacation. There's something so uplifting about the tropical environment and just being close to the beach. Okay, so now to one of the main reasons why thousands of people are ditching their current state and making a move down here to South Florida, especially those from New York, New Jersey, and California. Number 3, low tax burden. It's business friendly. As Ben Franklin once said, nothing is certain except death and taxes. The good news is that in Florida, taxes in general are less here than most of the country, and there's no state income tax. Here in Florida, we are known for being one of the most tax-friendly states for individuals and businesses. Since our tax burden is so low, politicians, celebrities, CEOs, small business owners, and retirees tend to gravitate to living in our state in order to save a significant amount of money. On top of not having a state income tax, we also have no estate tax, which was eliminated here in 2005. The estate tax, also known as the death tax, is the tax charged on the transfer of the estate when a person dies. The good news is that beneficiaries that inherit property here in Florida don't have to pay an estate tax. Instead, they're just responsible for paying federal taxes on any gains or profit from selling the inherited property, which is another reason why the wealthy and billionaires choose to live here, because they're smart about their money. Oh, and there's more, I'm not done. You get additional savings. When you buy a home in Florida and declare it as your primary residence or homestead, you get additional tax benefits. You'll receive a homestead exemption on property taxes for $50,000, decreasing the property's taxable value. Along with the homestead exemption, there is something called Save Our Home Cap, which essentially caps the annual increase in assessed value of a property that's equal to 3% or whatever the change in the consumer price index is. Basically, whichever amount is the lowest. In an event that the CPI, which is your consumer price index, is an amount greater than 3%, the assessed value of the property will still only increase by 3%. Nothing higher. These two programs are amazing perks of being residents of Florida and help thousands of homeowners save money on their property taxes every single year. For more detailed information, or if you're someone that likes to break down the numbers, go to the Florida Department of Revenue's website to research further. There's also more benefits available to property owners that have disabilities, veterans, senior citizens, active duty military service members, disabled first responders, and for specialized use properties. So check it out and see how much you can potentially save each year. Florida's homestead protection is also one of the many assets that are protected here in Florida, which have an awesome asset protection here, which gives you more peace of mind in terms of owning a home. The asset protection benefit that applies to home ownership is called the Homestead Creditor Protection, which states that no creditor can force the sale of a homestead in order to satisfy a judgment. There are more asset protection benefits available in Florida that protect retirement accounts, life insurance, employee pensions, annuities, and so on. Now, I'm not an attorney, but there are plenty of websites that outline exactly what assets are protected by Florida law in case you incur unforeseen lawsuits and want to understand exactly how your investments are safeguarded. Okay, so let's get down to business. Florida is a great place to start a business in terms of saving taxes. The state has no payroll taxes and only a 5.5% corporate income tax rate. According to taxfoundation.org, Florida ranks in 4th place in the country for 2023 State Business Tax Climate Index ranks and component tax ranks. Which states do you think rank the lowest? You probably guessed it: California, New York, and New Jersey. That's why so many people with businesses that are moving out of these states call me every day. New Jersey, for example, is crippled by some of the highest property tax burdens in the country, on top of having the highest rate corporate income taxes in the country, along with one of the highest rate individual income taxes. That's a lot of highest for one state. Now, listen, not to beat up on New Jersey because that is my home state. I moved here actually when I was 5, but Jersey is rather aggressive in terms of taxation. This includes aggressive treatment of international income and inheritance tax and downright awful individual income taxes. That's why most of my family, numerous clients, and even our agents have moved here. So if you live in New Jersey, give me a call. Let's save you some money. Now, I can't promise you our bagels or pizza are comparable to up north, but you'll have more money in your pocket to ship them down here if you want. While we're on the topic of business, you may be wondering, how's the job growth in Florida? Number 4 is job growth. The job growth and economy here are excellent. According to reporting by Arizona State University, Florida ranked number 2 in the country, right behind Texas, for job growth in 2022, with an increase of over 5%. Florida added over 9,500 new jobs this year. And according to labor analytics company Lightcast, Florida ranked number 1 in the nation for attracting and developing a skilled workforce. As far as our economy goes, Florida's economy is the 4th largest in the United States, with a 1.3 trillion gross state product in 2022 and an unemployment rate that has been below the national average consecutively for the past 2 years. So what kind of jobs can I find in Florida? Well, it depends on your skill set. We're known here for hospitality and tourism, as well as a leader in agriculture, so it's safe to say that those jobs are available here. However, there are new opportunities in tech and other fields due to companies moving to Florida to take advantage of those tax benefits that I just talked about. Here are a few industries on the rise according to the Florida Economic Development Council. Life sciences, such as medical research, anything biotech and pharmaceutical related. Florida ranked 2nd in the country for pharmaceutical and medical manufacturing, with over 46,000 healthcare establishments. Many of those companies came here from California. Information technology careers like digital marketing, mobile technology, website optimization and development. Also aerospace. Now, we are home to Kennedy Space Center. Aviation, clean energy jobs, and manufacturing. As a matter of fact, about 19,000 manufacturers work throughout the state of Florida. Again, if you're in the medical industry in general, we have a shortage of workers here due to a mass resignation during COVID, so there are jobs available in the healthcare industry. The study also indicated demand for skilled workers in fields of plumbing, architecture, electrical contracting, and even city planning. I will say that Florida is not known for its high wages for jobs in education, childcare, social work, general skill sets like basic administration, clerical, food service, or production workers. Since the cost of living can be high in major cities, the economic environment may not be the best for people in these industries. Even our hospitality workers have had a rough time here in service-based positions, especially during the pandemic. However, as I stated earlier, there's a ton of opportunity and good pay for skilled workers, especially medical professionals, sales executives, attorneys, scientists, pilots, engineers, tech workers, finance, entertainment, and so on. Now, let's get into a topic and a question that I get asked all the time, which is, how's the education in Florida? Number 5, education. Naturally, people relocating to Florida want to know about the education and opportunity for themselves or their children. What are the schools like? How are the schools performing with testing on a national level? Well, I can definitely assure you that Florida is an excellent place to live with access to not only top-tier universities and higher education, but also high-quality public and private primary and secondary education. Here are some quick stats. According to US News in 2022, Florida ranked number 1 for higher education and number 16 in the country for early education pre-K to 12th grade. 16 is not bad. There are 50 states in our country. As a realtor, I definitely hear complaints as far as comparing public schools from people from New Jersey and New York. Honestly, those claims just aren't necessarily true. Like anywhere in the country, you get schools that are A-rated and some that are F-rated, but there are plenty of great schools throughout the state. So if you're coming from a state like New Jersey, which does rank number 1 for primary and secondary education, maybe that's why I hear those complaints. You guys in Jersey may have the best schools, but New York, for instance, ranks number 19 on the list, and California is sadly ranked number 40. So hopefully that clears up the ongoing information battle. Florida schools are awesome and our kids are doing well here in terms of academic performance. According to 2021 NAEP assessments, Florida's 4th grade students ranked 3rd in reading and 4th in math in the country, achieving top 4 in both English and math for the first time in state history. On the contrary, California and New York aren't even in the top 30. Now this is data from the National Center for Education Statistics. There are plenty of sites that factor in classroom size and other things that change our ranking depending on whatever the website views as significant. Make sure you do your research and decide for yourself based on what factors are personally important to you and your family. Other interesting highlights that I found from the news release is that particular subgroups of Florida students are also seeing great success. Florida is in the top 5 for average scale scores of Hispanic students, the top 5 for students with disabilities across all grades, and in the top 10 for scores of Black students across all grades as well. If you want to learn more and read additional stats, go to the Florida Department of Education's website and have at it. Due to the growing population, the state is working to continue to improve education and even switch from standardized testing with something called progress monitoring. So if you're planning to identify potential schools before making the move, there are helpful websites online like greatschools.org and articles that you can check out online to make a more informed decision when pinpointing locations. Let's move on. So what else do people love about Florida? They love the fact that there's more to do here compared to other states. Number 6, there's more to do here. Florida offers every kind of entertainment experience imaginable. You'll never run out of indoor or outdoor activities. This is one of the many reasons why Florida is one of the world's most popular tourist destinations and another reason why people choose to live here. According to Wallet Hub's list of fun states, Florida ranked as number 2, right below California, beating notable states like Nevada, New York, Illinois, and Colorado. Like California, the pleasant weather and the size of the state make Florida a hub for hospitality and tourism throughout. From Disney World in Orlando to nightlife in South Beach and Miami, snorkeling in Key West, watching a space shuttle launch at Kennedy Space Center, or even history and ghost tours in St. Augustine, exploring pretty much all of our cities on the coast. You could find diverse cultural experiences among the many outdoor sports, water activities, festivals, history and art museums, nightlife, and almost everything that you can think of except real snow. If you're an outdoors type of person, Florida will not disappoint. You have biking, boating, sailing, water skiing, you have hiking, you have fishing, you swimming with the dolphins, skydiving, camping. I mean, you name it and it's accessible. Here in South Florida, as an example, cycling is big here. You'll see groups of cyclists riding together and up and down A1A from Jupiter down to Miami with the ocean as a backdrop in the entire way. You have golf courses everywhere. Golf is a way of life here in Florida and it attracts all types of people, not just retirees. As someone who plays the sport myself, it's gotten younger over the years, and what used to be primarily a sport for people over the age of 50, now it's really common to see 20-year-olds out on the course. If you love golf, Florida has more golf courses than any other state in the country, 1,100 to be exact. Maybe you're not big into golf, but you like tennis instead. Florida is the world's #1 destination for tennis and home to many of the world's most prestigious tennis academies and resorts. The year-round sunshine makes Florida the perfect place for tennis, With over 7,700 places to play, from municipal courts to exclusive resorts, there's no shortage of tennis here. Boating is also a big deal here, especially down south. With the ocean and intercoastal along the coast, I would say that South Florida was made for boats and jet skis. There's just so much open water that it's hard to not get sucked into the boating lifestyle. They're expensive and the gas is not cheap, but if you have the means or the friends and you enjoy boating, then there's no better place. As you know, Florida is home to some of the world's most famous theme parks. You have Disney World, you have Universal Studios, you have Busch Gardens, Legoland, you have SeaWorld, you have Aquatica, and many of these parks offer resident discounts, which is a great perk. My two girls are big Disney fans, so we're annual pass holders and visit at least once per season. Having annual or seasonal passes to any of these theme parks can save residents a decent amount of money, especially big families. One of our favorite experiences is the Epcot Food and Wine Festival at Disney, but there are special seasonal events throughout Universal and Disney affiliated parks, such as Mickey's Very Merry Christmas, you have Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween, Halloween Horror Nights, or Grinchmas, just to name a few options. Number 7, sports and fitness. Florida is a perfect place to be if you're a sports fan like me. Some of the country's top teams in the NBA, MLB, and NFL teams call Florida home, such as the Miami Heat, Miami Dolphins, Miami Marlins, Florida Panthers, Orlando Magic, Tampa Bay Rays, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tampa Bay Lightning, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. College football is probably even more important than the NFL here in Florida. You have the Florida Gators, Florida State Seminoles, and the Miami Hurricanes, which have always been the 3 top powerhouse schools here, especially in football. The rivalries between those schools are a real thing, with many houses divided. Lately, some of the other universities have been winning more and are now on the radar, such as the University of Central Florida Golden Knights in Orlando and the University of South Florida Bulls in Tampa. We're also home to car races such as the Daytona 500 race, which is held at the Daytona International Speedway, and the Formula One Grand Prix. In tennis, you have the Miami Open and the Delray Beach International Tennis Championships. Now, we can't leave out soccer. Miami hosts many international games and it has its own MLS team, Inter Miami CF, as does Orlando with Orlando City SC. Here are a few things you probably didn't know. 15 of the 30 major baseball teams hold their spring training in Florida. Did you know that no other state has held more Super Bowls than Florida? Mathematically speaking, our state has held a third of all Super Bowls. Gatorade was actually named for the University of Florida Gators football team. This is where the drink was first developed in 1965. Finally, we are wrapping up our list of awesome benefits of living in Florida, which leads me to the last reason. When you move here, don't be surprised if your friends and family want to visit more frequently. Number 8, your friends and family will want to visit often. Due to all the reasons we've talked about in this video, new Florida residents have found that their loved ones enjoy visiting them here compared to other locations, and they're going to be doing it often. I don't know, maybe that's a negative for some of you, but with that being said, I recommend having a guest room or at least a pull-out couch in your home because it will be put to use quite often. Over time, your family may even choose to follow your lead and move down here. I can't tell you how many calls we get from our past clients saying, John, my mom or dad or sister or brother want to move to Florida. Can you find them a home nearby? And of course, we do whatever we can to help. Overall, there are so many great things about living in Florida, and I could go on and on and on for days and days and days, listing additional reasons, but that would just take too long. By the way, comment below and let me know what your favorite things are about Florida. Maybe I'll even mention points you guys bring up in future videos. And if you want to know the hard, honest truth about all the things people hate about living here, I made a video about that too. So check my page and don't forget to subscribe. Make sure to hit that like button if you found this info helpful. Again, if you're looking to move here next week, next month, or next year, feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. We got your back. Be sure to check out the description below for all of the ways to reach out. Until next time, I hope to see you around.